welcome everyone to our service without Ian. So we'll see. Hopefully goes well. I don't see any new people here, so we'll get started with our threshold moment.
In the beginning, God spoke, and stars scattered into the sky. God shaped and molded this place we call home, shaping woods, fields, rivers, and streams. Long before we arrived, the Penobscot, the Passamaquoddy, the Maliseet, and the Micmac lived in the Dawnland. Long before First Congregational Church was gathered here in what we call Waterville today, the Kennebec, Norridgewock, and Toconet bands of the Wabanaki walked this land, fished these waters, worshiped their Creator in their own ways and tongues, while giving thanks for this same good earth we now worship upon together. Our ancient stories call us to love God, love neighbor, to walk humbly, and to do justice. But we know that not all who walked this land were treated as neighbors. Empire crossed the ocean, wearing our ancestors' faces, and in its shadow, covenants were broken, and voices were silenced. We gather today on that tear-soaked land that remembers the injustices we have long tried to hide. We seek forgiveness. We seek reconciliation. We seek justice. We humbly accept the wisdom of our indigenous siblings who never gather without first expressing gratitude in order that their minds may be one. We seek to counter the lie of scarcity that fear and hunger teaches with the truth of reciprocity that abundant creation teaches.
We turn our minds and our listening ears toward our still speaking God, thankful for the echo of the divine voice in creation and the profound stillness like finely powdered snow that draws us near. We attend to that voice when we strain to hear the song of the chickadee. In our darkness, we are interrupted by the ethereal call of the loon. We gather on this land where the sun first touches the shore and honor the people of the Dawnland, known to us today collectively as the Wabanaki people, giving thanks for the ways they have nurtured and cherished this home we call Maine. As the snowshoe hare transitions to their summer coat, new life drips from melting snow, feeding into the mighty Kennebec flowing to the ocean where the alewives run. At the confluence of that flow, we find our home. Mindful of the sacredness of our gathering here in Waterville, we seek in worship to offer our gifts and talents to the Divine Weaver in order that we might strengthen our relationships, discern our mission, and express our gratitude. We celebrate our members and friends who bring their beauty to the potluck of life. The love in our hearts wasn't put there to stay. Love isn't love until we give it away. We give thanks for our neighbors, both human and more than human. From black to white and all variations in between, the skunk scurrying in the snow celebrates the diversity in us all. Opening the door to our more than human kin, a startled porcupet somersaulting off the deck elicits our tender response. Even the prickly juniper invites a hug. In our sharing, we receive, learning that there is no they, only we. Grateful for the model of generosity in creation, we give in reciprocity for our neighbors on the margins through our ministries of the Essentials Closet, Starfish Village, and Loads of Love.
The church's oldest role, before buildings and budgets and programs, was the keeper and teller of the stories that orient a people in time. In a world of fragmenting shared narrative and algorithmic meaning-making, this role is not diminishing. It is becoming more urgent. Developing our storytelling capacity, identifying, learning, and offering our story to our community is a public good to which we are called. Just as we make the path by walking it, we write our story by living it. So we name and proclaim our mission.
Seeking to walk in the way of Jesus, we are an open and affirming church, faithfully using who we are and what we have to serve those on the margins of our community. No matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here.
Douglas Steer has said that when we hold up the life of another before God, then we sense what it means to share in God's work, in His concern. Only then do the walls that separate us from others go down, and we sense that we are at bottom all knit together in a great and intimate family. If you have joys or concerns you'd like to share, we'll start with those online. Either unmute yourself or write in the chat. And as is our tradition, after someone shares, we say together, "This is our prayer."
I ask for prayers for my son's family after the passing of his mother-in-law, Diane, who has struggled with Alzheimer's for several years and broke a hip a few weeks ago. She passed on Saturday.
This is our prayer.
Anyone in the room?
Continuing prayers for my friend Carrie. It's going on 3 months that she's had back pain with no relief, so prayers that she gets an answer soon. This is our prayer.
Prayers for two family members who are undergoing diagnosis and treatment of different types of cancer.
This is our prayer. Prayers for Pete's brother Dave, who lives in California. He and his wife, Chris, are dealing with Dave's Alzheimer's. And also prayers for my Aunt Mary Hilton Shorey, and her husband Frank Shorey. Frank will be placed in memory care this week.
I'm going to ask for prayers for Bill's sister Nancy, who has been, for years, has had this kind of a weird brain tumor, which is now seeming to be coming to an end soon.
This is our prayer.
Joys of church without Ian. We lift up these prayers, and Ian would give a lovely transition into our prayer. But we'll say together the prayer that Jesus gave us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
This is the day that God has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It is here in this safe space we receive one another just as we are, just as God receives us. Come and experience the abundance of God's love for you, providing for your every need. Come and experience the invitation to give back to our God who has given us life itself. Come and be empowered by the good news of Christ so that we can share that abundant love with others. Come so that our abundance meets the great needs of our world. Guide us to respond to the needs of our siblings wherever they may be. Call upon us in all of our abundance to share what we have so that others may receive what they need to live the abundant life Christ offered us all. Dare us to share and to do so faithfully, joyfully, and with conviction. If you're so able, one way to share is by the offering plate in the back or online. Sometimes there's a slide for that. QR code is right there if you're so able.
The scripture this morning is from Acts 15, 1 through 21, and we're reading the First Nations version. While small man, Paul, and son of comfort, Barnabas.
No, that's from last week, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Put it back to the script, the other sheet, so it's less confusing. Yeah, I think you're right, Sally. That I think is from last week. Yeah.
Oh, this is from what's on here is from last week.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, what she was reading was correct.
So, okay.
go ahead, Sally. You're good.
Don't mess it up, Sally.
It's not you. It's not you. It's Ian's slides.
While small man, Paul, and son of comfort, Barnabas, were in stands against Antioch, some men came down from the land of promise, Judea, and began to teach the followers there. They said, "Unless you have participated in the traditional cutting of the flesh ceremony given by drawn from the water, Moses, you cannot be set free and made whole. But small man and son of comfort did not agree with them and had a strong argument with them. It was decided that small man and son of comfort, along with a few others, would go to the message bearers and elders at Village of Peace, Jerusalem, to settle this among them. So, having been sent on their way by the sacred family, they traveled through the land of palm trees, Phoenicia, and high place, Samaria. As they traveled, they told how the outside nations had come to faith. This made the hearts of all the followers glad. When they came to Village of Peace, the messenger bearers, elders, and sacred family welcomed them. They told them the stories of all that the Great Spirit had done through them. But some of the sacred family members who belonged to the band of the separated ones, Pharisees, stood up among them to make their voice heard. The outside nations, said the separated ones, must participate in the cutting of the flesh ceremony and be ready to follow our tribal law given by drawn from the water. The message bearers and elders sat in council together to discuss this matter. After much talk and debate, Stands on the Rock stood up among them. My fellow members of the sacred family, he said to all, you know that a good while ago Creator chose me to be the one to help the outside nations come to faith by telling them the good story. The knower of hearts made this clear when he gave them the Holy Spirit in the same manner as he did for us. The Great Spirit made no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts when they trusted in him. So why put Creator to the test by putting a burden on their shoulders that neither our ancestors nor we have been able to carry? So then, Stands on the Rock finished. We believe it is because of the gift of greatness from Creator sets free, Jesus, the chosen one, that we will be set free and made whole. It is the same for us and for them. Silence fell upon all who had gathered there as they listened to Son of Comfort and Small Man tell about the wondrous and powerful signs the Great Spirit had done through them when they were with the outside nations. When they finished speaking, he leads the way. James stood up and spoke to the gathering. My fellow tribal members, he said, hear what I have to say. One who hears, Simon, has spoken well to remind us of how the Great Spirit first showed to us his concern for the outside nations by choosing from among them those who would represent him. This agrees with the words of the prophets from long ago. It is written in the sacred teachings, at that time I will return and repair the sacred tent of much loved one, David, that has fallen to the ground. I will raise it up from its tattered ruins and mend its tears, so that the rest of humankind may search for the Great Spirit, all the outside nations who have also been chosen to represent me. This is what Creator is saying, for he made these things known long ago. So, as I see it, we should not put stumbling stones in the path of the ones in these outside nations who are turning to the Great Spirit. The message we should send to them is that they should stay away from things offered to evil spirits, from sexual impurity, from the meat of a strangled animal, and from drinking blood. For from ancient times the ways of drawn from the water have been taught in every village, and his words are read out loud in the tribal gathering houses on every day of resting. This ends the reading.
I was 8 years old and running with a dime in my hand into the bus stop to pick up a paper from my old man. I'd sit on his lap in that big old Buick and steer as he drove through town. He tousled my hair and he said, son, take a good look around. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. Your hometown. This is your hometown. In 65, tension was running high at my high school. There was lots of fights between the black and white. There was nothing you could do. 2 cars had a light on a Saturday night. In the backseat there was a gun. Words were passed, a shotgun blast. Troubled times had come to my hometown. To my hometown. My hometown. To my hometown. Now Main Street, whitewashed windows and vacant stores. Seems like there ain't nobody wants to come down here no more. They're closing down the textile mill across the railroad track. Foreman said these jobs are going, boys, and ain't coming back to your hometown. To your hometown. Your hometown. To your hometown. Last night me and Kate, we laid in bed talking about getting out, packing up our bags, maybe heading south. I'm 35, we got a boy of our own. Last night I sat him up behind the wheel and said, son, take a good look around. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. Your hometown. Your hometown.
As has been our summer tradition, we've been breaking up into smaller groups during this time. And today our questions that we can discuss together are: how open are we to the change that growth requires? And how much do we expect new folks to change to be like us? And feel free to discuss anything else as the Spirit moves you. We'll start the clock for 5 minutes, and then we can discuss together afterwards. And folks on Zoom, feel free to unmute yourselves and chat together.
Gina's not here to start it either. We're missing both of them. Maybe it's job security. Anybody want to start?
we're going to get a fresh look at that because we've just moved. We're in Gray now and not in Waterville. So we're going to figure out how it works here.
Mm. Changing homes and neighborhoods is a hard one. You get so settled where you are.
Yep.
I don't envy that.
I know for like total opposites at first. I did not want to come to Maine. I didn't want to. I was like, no, I don't want to go all the way up there. I don't want to live in the sticks because I'm from the city. And now, so my husband made us move, and now I love it. He hates it. And
Sounds like
we had to do,
marriage.
yeah, well, we had to do like I came up here and I got sober and I changed my whole entire lifestyle. I had to leave all the friends that were toxic to me behind, and I did all this change, and it's like almost like he did nothing, and I was trying to, and I was expecting so much more from him, and I really had to like push him, like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to. I mean, I was filling out the job applications for him, like, look, if you don't want to do it, I'll do it, and then you just have to go to the interview, that's it. And then I was able to push him to get a good job, at Gregory's disposal and do all these things. So I mean, this is a big question for me because I can answer it, but that's all the things that were happening with us, and now we're finally in a good place. He likes his job. You know, and we really had to come together as a family to make it work. So it is hard for people to change, and it's also hard to know what to expect for people to change because as a person you can only change if you want to, but you have to have the right mindset, and you have to make a plan. You can't just things don't change overnight. You have to make a plan and you have to work for it, work at it.
Mm.
I
Well,
guess I'll
happy for you, Shannon. I think that many times we get stuck in our ways, but I've found that with age, uh, that some of us are experiencing, all, I guess, um, some people become a little more mellow and a little more open to new ideas and change, which is a good thing. Go with the flow a little bit more. And I'm sure that makes everyone think of some older people who no way, they're not changing anything. But I think at least in our family, some people have adapted a little bit more. Would you agree?
We're glad to have you, Shannon. We're really glad to have you at church.
Yeah.
We're glad you came, and Amy, we were glad to see you come, not just for January, but come
Aw.
on for the whole shebang. We appreciate that.
I feel like this church
No,
does what
thank
it
you. Thank you.
says. Yeah, I think everybody practices what they preach, I love the loads of love. Like, let's just start in our own community. But Shannon, I guess I'm midlife, 57, and my husband and I have gone through some marriage counseling, and we're trying to do the next couple of years better. And so last night on the way to going out to dinner, because our date nights help us with friends, we are nicer to each other, but we got into a fight about we have a dog that's terminally ill for 4 years. Don't feel sorry. She's doing as good as she can be, but she usually does really well over the summer and can make it through the winter. Anyway, he won't give her the inhaler. And I keep saying, why would you hurt her? Like, she gets it twice a day. If you do the meals, you should do the inhaler. And I've been telling him for months, and he said, it's not part of my routine. I was like, what's the routine? Your dog needs your help. So I'm only sharing it because I wasn't good at it, to your point. I wasn't mellow about it, and I did kind of let it affect us last night because.
I can bring us back a little bit.
But anyway,
Need more time.
I'm trying to deal with it better today and not kick it out on
More
them.
time. Yeah. Okay.
So maybe baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they're gathering us back together. So. I mean, it's no joke to take care of we have 5 dogs, and I don't even ask him to give them all pills. He just has to give the one the pill and the inhaler when he feeds them. And it just gets me so frustrated when he won't help her. It's a life.
Well, I'm curious to know if you, Amy, or you, Shannon, felt that there were expectations that you changed to be members of the church, to be part of the church. Did you feel that at all?
All right.
Oh.
So some great
I
discussion.
feel like I'm just really happy to be here and part of this community. I do wish I could be in person, though. That's hard for me. That's my expectation. It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I do it from home when I have the kids because it's hard to bring them to church because they don't sit still. But I mean, I've always been like a faith person. I used to go to youth group and stuff in college. It was hard for me to find a church that was good for me. I went to one a couple of times, but it was a little further away from my house. But when I found this church, I felt very welcomed and like a sense of community because even though I lived here for over a year now, I still have no outside friends. I mean, the only people I see are you guys when I come to church, besides my kids. But it's hard to make new friends when you've come to a place that's so far away, a place that's very different. And like I said, I have a very different lifestyle now, so it is very hard. So yeah, I do feel a sense of community being here.
It's wonderful.
Thanks. I'm gonna bring us
Yeah.
back. Thanks, Zoom. So I had things muted, and so we didn't hear Ian's lovely jazz intro to bring us all back. But obviously some great discussion. So I don't know if we want to pass the mic around and share. Zoom folks, if you want to, I'll offer it up to Zoom first. If you want to share anything about your conversation.
Does anybody want to share?
Amy, why don't you summarize? Because you and Shannon could address the question about, are we expecting as a congregation people, how much are we expecting them to change to be more like the church is?
Mhm.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, sure. I think I think we a couple of us shared about change. Mr. and Mrs. Lee talked about changing neighborhoods and houses and how difficult that is after years of being in the same neighborhood and what are the expectations in the new neighborhood. And Shannon had similar experiences when her and her husband kind of had different feelings about moving the family from the city to Waterville. And the expectation was that he wanted to move and she didn't. And then now she's settled and he's having a harder time, although he likes his job. And then I forget your names, the other couple, if this is Mr.
Mark
Sturge,
and Tina.
Mark and Tina.
Yeah.
And Mark shared that how as we get a little bit more mature, I'll say, we get more mellow, or I think a small percentage of us get more mellow or mellower, and most of us get more ornery and difficult and stuck in our ways. But I think that we sort of ended on Shannon and I feeling very welcomed in the church. And I know that I've stuck with this church all year because of the fact that everyone practices what they preach, right? So they're not, and that they're donating money and time locally. I don't know, you guys could disagree, but I do feel like I like the fact that we're doing it locally. I know that the world needs a lot, but I feel like it's kind of like vacuuming, where you see your work and your cleanliness right away. I do think it's important for the human spirit to see where their money and time is going and how it's helping. I love loads of love. You know, I keep thinking about doing it in my own neighborhood. So in fact, I don't know that Shannon and I felt like we had to change our mission in church, but just glad that we found a church that mirrored our own feelings and of giving. And I think for Shannon and I, we both said the community here is tremendous, even on Zoom, which is so hard to accomplish. So I think I got everybody's comments.
Yes.
Thanks.
And I learned Mark and Tina's name. Woohoo! That's a big one for me.
How about in the room?
This could be your Sermon on the Mount.
I was kind.
We're all gonna be like a deer in headlights when she's gone. Like,
No one's gonna speak at all if I'm not here. Aside from the people on Zoom. I'm trying to think of like the main things we spoke about, just in terms of not wanting to put stumbling blocks in front of people in order to have them welcomed in this space, in our lives in general. It's important to remember what Peter said, you know, that's not something that God does, so we shouldn't do it either. But the word that stood out to me in the second one was that it's a change that's necessary to grow. So if somebody's coming and they're hitting a stumbling block, that stumbling block could be a way for them to grow. But if they don't want to grow, they're going to just stay stuck behind that block forever. And it's our job to maybe try and help them around. But some people, you know, are perfectly happy to stay where they are. So that can be frustrating. But I think as long as we're not the ones putting artificial stumbling blocks in front of people, and instead they're steps for people to grow, we can help them learn how to step over those steps. But, you know, if they just want to stay on the ground floor, there's only so many times you can try and pull somebody up if they don't want to move. And we talked about it in reference to children, helping children learn how to meet each other where they're at, and needing to kind of meet everyone where they're at without having a sort of litmus test of, well, if you think this and this and this, then I can help you. You know, I don't do that on street pastor shifts. I know Sally doesn't do that for Loads of Love. We don't like have a little checklist, and if you answer all these things correctly, boom, you get some quarters, or boom, you get a bottle of water. Like, that's not how those ministries work, and it's not how Jesus worked. And we talked a lot about that, but please, if I forgot anything. Wonderful.
Thank you. Well, I'll say something about Loads of Love, and that's I can give you quarters. I could give you quarters today even, I think. So because I'm going away for a week anyway, and there won't be any Loads of Love coming from me. So anyway, well, my phone number is 431-8432 for the world to know. I never answer it anyway. So. Is that it?
Last call?
Oh.
Sure. Here. All right. I think we're on. Are we good, Laura? Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks all. I want to share briefly. Don't know if you can hear on the mic. I think it'll swing over. Swing it. There we go. Earlier, Frank had shared, we request prayers for my son Ben's family at the passing of his mother-in-law Diane, who has struggled with Alzheimer's for several years. With a broke a hip a few weeks ago. She passed yesterday.
Well, announcements. Usually they pop up on the screen, but okay, yeah. So we're collecting for the Winslow Community Cupboard. We're doing it each month of the year. This month is canned chicken. There's a donation box right back here. Oh, good. Well, I'll bring another one then in then. Great. So that's what we're looking for this month for that. The book club is meeting tomorrow night inside because it's supposed to be pouring rain. We do. So 6 p.m. I think up to chapter 22. Is that correct? Yeah. So that's where we're at right now, and we're finding it a very good book. Bible study will resume this Thursday, 7 p.m. on our Book of Acts. And painters are needed for the farmhouse walls. That's August 21st. And just to let Marissa know if you're available to help with that. That's at Pilgrim Lodge. And we're having a farewell to Sarah next Sunday. Two Sundays, sorry. I meant 2 Sundays. Yeah, right. I knew that. So, yeah. So plan to stay for fellowship after that so we can celebrate her.
Where's Sarah going?
Can't tell you yet.
Oh,
I can tell you on the 30th or after. I'll send Ian a text afterwards.
okay. Sorry.
I'm gonna be there next.
Does anybody else have announcements? I got one too. Go ahead.
If all goes well.
I just want to say thank you, especially to the Stone Ciphers for all the work you did, and for everybody else that participated too. It was you guys all were awesome, I have to say, and I thank you for helping me through things too. Let me get to.
Oops.
I just want to tell everybody that I finally got a few words changed on that church position paper on wood smoke, and it's all in perfect order, and now I can start taking it to people. I actually talked about it to somebody who was running for mayor. He wanted to get my signature on a petition or something. So I asked him about what he thought, and he said, yeah, I agree with you and everybody else. Wood smoke is a health problem. So I'm going to go in and see if I can't become a member of the health department in the city of Waterville and do something about it.
Very good.
This is our prayer.
This is our
Back to my friend Carrie, who I mentioned before. If you know anyone looking for like a personal care assistant for a couple of hours in the evening, like 4 to 6 or 5 to 7, she's looking for someone a couple of evenings a week. She pays well, $25 an hour. So if you know someone just wants to work maybe like 4 hours a week, just to help her out with things like dishes, vacuuming, that sort of thing. And just the company too, because she's alone all day.
No, I meant on the Zoom, so that it's just the big. Go to the speaker view rather than gallery view.
Oh, okay.
On Zoom, so that when it records onto YouTube, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I have one announcement. The Essentials Closet will open Wednesday morning this week. We'll be open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I could really use some help on Friday this week, and then the following week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 26th, 27th, and 28th. I could use help every one of those days. We've got a lot of people on vacation, a lot of people traveling. So if you can help out, let me know. Thank you.
That's not right. It's 2:37. 2:37.
Oh, I thought you said I was wrong. I'm like, yes,
No,
I am.
you're correct.
Well, we're gonna need
2:37.
we're gonna need those because it's wrong on here.
Exactly. Don't look at the lyrics. We need 2:37 in the hymnal. Sorry, David.
That's okay. Let me try that again.
John?
Okay, our benediction. But to every mind there openeth a way and way and a way. A high soul climbs the highway, and the low soul gropes the low. And in between on the misty flats the rest drift to and fro. But to every man there openeth a highway and a low, and every mind decideth the way his soul shall go. One ship sails east and another west, by the self-same winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales that tells the way to go. Like the winds of the sea are the waves of time as we journey along through life. 'Tis the set of the soul that determines the goal, and not the calm or the strife. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.